Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and it's time to check out yet another flagship phone with the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset inside. This is the iQOO 13, which actually has a partner with BMW Motorsport. If you haven't heard of iQOO, it's a brand associated with Vivo, and on paper this phone looks insane. A 2K 144Hz display, a battery that's over 6,000 milliamp hours, and a triple camera system, and a lot more to like. So we're gonna take a quick look what comes in the box, then of course get some hands-on with this new flagship from iQOO. Let's get started. Here's the iQOO 13 with that BMW Motorsport logo. Let's see what we get. Inside right away is the 13. We're gonna set that to the side for just a second. You get a custom card that has your SIM ejection tool attached to it with some car-themed pictures, standard booklets. You also get a clear case, which is nice that they did include that. And finally, a USB-C to USB-C cable and a 120 watt charging brick, which isn't really that big considering how fast 120 watts is. Onto what you came to see, the iQOO 13. Just peeling that off, opening up the plastic. There it is. Ooh, it's like a matte white. It's not really a glossy white. It looks really clean. Anyways, I'm going to boot this up for the first time, and while it turns on, let's take a closer look at this hardware. Down at the bottom, SIM card slot, microphone, USB Type-C, port 1 of our speakers. Along the right side here, you'll see flat sides because it is a flat display. That power button and volume rockers. Make note of the fairly minimal camera bump, honestly. It's really not protruding out that far. Anyways, up towards the top, you've got another microphone and a speaker. Moving along on the left side, absolutely nothing. And just a close look at the back. And like I said, it's more of a matte white, says iQOO, and it also says Fascination meets innovation with that BMW colors right there. Close look at that triple camera setup. All lenses are 50 megapixels and you have the flash in the bottom right corner. Nice that all three lenses use 50 megapixels. Both the wide angle and telephoto lens use optical image stabilization. That telephoto lens has 2 times of optical zoom. And again, an ultra wide angle lens with 50 megapixels is great to have. And believe it or not, there's a light ring around the camera module, or I should say underneath. They're calling it their floating light to make it look like it's floating. You can set this for notifications, calls, or even when you plug it in and you're charging. There it is. Let's check it out in a darker light. So to my eye, it was pretty easy to see. The camera just didn't quite pick it up, so here's a better representation of what it looks like. Really sleek and makes it look like it's floating. It's really cool. Anyways, I'm gonna run through the startup process, talk about anything that's noteworthy. While setting the phone up, I noticed there's a pre-installed screen protector. I'd recommend keeping that on, actually. There is an in-display fingerprint scanner, just setting our thumb on down, and the haptic feedback has been really good when typing, and now when I'm setting this up, it has been excellent, so very premium there, continuing through. All right, there we go. You can add more if you'd like. You're all set up. FunTouch OS is their skin on top of Android. Let's check out that gorgeous display. This is a 6.82-inch display, and like I said, 1440p, so a 2K display resolution. On top of that, you have a 144 hertz refresh rate display, so everything is already looking really smooth. But let's go into display settings. Scrolling down, I want to point out screen resolution out of the box is set to 1080p, so you will need to manually switch it to the 1440p to take full advantage of that screen resolution. Nice that you can switch back and forth, and out of the box smart switch, it will change the refresh rate depending on the content that's shown, or you can force high and actually individually change the apps that take advantage of that 144 hertz refresh rate. Quick test of that in-display fingerprint scanner. Seems to be really quick and accurate. With the screen off, setting our finger down, you don't need to actually turn that display on. You just need to remember where that specific position is, but as you can see, very accurate. Going into the camera application for the first time, let's just snap a few quick pictures overall. Seems to be very, very quick. On top of that, if we swipe up here, it gets to their humanistic street snap camera. Now, this will give you control of a lot of different things like focal length, your exposure, ISO, your f-stop, and even the white balance as well. And then the upper right-hand corner, there's different modes. You can go to black and white, vivid, natural, a really cool way to customize your shot. Again, you have access to that 0.6 ultra wide angle lens, and the 2x is the optical zoom. 4x will go up to digital zoom, and you can zoom in looks like all the way up to 30x. For some different modes, you have night portrait, of course, with different focal lengths and different styles as well. Going into video, over on the left-hand side here, you can actually shoot all the way up to 8K, 30 frames per second. That's nice to see, and 4K, 60 frames per second. And going into more, here's a full look at all of the different modes that you have, including a pro mode. Going back into settings, there's an ultra game mode where you can customize a ton of different things. First of all, esports mode will optimize a few different things. Plus, you have 40 game vibration, game super resolution, and just a lot more, including frame rate priority. And on top of that Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, Multi-Turbo talks about all of the different improvements that iQOO has added to this phone. There's also multitasking shortcuts, so you do have your smart sidebar right here for quick access, plus 3 fingers up for split screen, a small window mode for floating windows. A couple very noteworthy things. First of all, it's actually fairly light, especially considering it has a 6,150 milliamp hour battery, which is huge. It's actually kind of crazy. And on top of that, an IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance rating, so no worries if you accidentally drop it in some water. And going into some of those battery settings, there's a monster mode here, which will obviously consume more battery, but you can take full advantage of that processor's power, or you can go down into the battery saver. Anyways, that's it for me for now on the iQOO 13. Really impressive phone, honestly. I'm excited about all of these really good phones coming out with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching.